So this is going to be leaning more in favor of hand-to-hand combat skill and less on who just win in a fight. So don't be butthurt when you see weaker characters above stronger characters in this list. Like right now in 10th, Obito Uchiha. As a former member of Team Minato and a member of the Akatsuki, Obito has had extensive combat training and quite a bit of combat experience on top of that. Obito's exceptional speed and reflexes, enhanced by a Sharingan, allow him to predict and react to his opponent's movements with remarkable precision, enabling him to execute swift and devastating strikes in close quarters combat. Some of his signature techniques, as I mentioned, the Sharingan, it grants him enhanced visual perception and predictive capabilities, allowing him to anticipate his opponent's movements and effectively counter their attack in hand-to-hand combat situations. Wood release. I know this is technically a ninjutsu technique, but it does further enhance his taijutsu, granting him access to offensive and defensive capabilities during battle. Some examples of his taijutsu is Obito's Rampage, Obito vs Minato, and Obito vs Kakashi. If you, like me, think that is the best fight in the show, then hit the subscribe button right now. In 9th place, Kakashi Hatake. Obviously, we have to have the guy who makes the top 10 on every list, except a list of characters with the largest chakra pools. As a former Anbu captain and Jonin sensei, Kakashi possesses tons of combat experience and has undergone rigorous training under renowned mentors such as Minato Namikaze. On top of that, he is also rivals with the master of Taijutsu, Might Guy. This rivalry has honed his Taijutsu abilities to a super high level. Pair that with Kakashi's impressive speed and reflexes, which allow him to react swiftly to his opponent's movements, enabling him to evade attacks and deliver precise strikes with a lethal accuracy. Just like Obito, having the Sharingan really helps him with reading his opponent's next move. Kakashi's proficiency in Taijutsu is evident in his fluid and precise movements, allowing him to seamlessly integrate hand-to-hand combat with his ninjutsu technique. Some examples of Kakashi's displays of his Taijutsu skill is Kakashi vs Zabuza, Kakashi vs Kakuzu and Hidan, and like I said earlier, Kakashi vs Obito. In 8th place, Madara Uchiha. As a former mercenary who fought in hundreds of battles against the Senju and other clans, Madara's combat experience is almost second to none, thus contributing to his superior taijutsu skills. Like Obito and Kakashi, Madara's Sharingan enhances his reflexes and perception, allowing him to anticipate and counter his opponent's attacks with extreme precision and potency. Some canon examples of this is his numerous battles against Hashirama and the other Senju, against the Shinobi Alliance, you know the scene I'm talking about, and against Sasuke and Naruto in the Shinobi War. In 7th, Neji Hyuga. As a Hyuga prodigy, Neji's training in the Gentle Fist technique started at a super young age, honing his precision and effectiveness in combat. As a member of the Branch family, Neji realized that he wouldn't be taught the Hyuga's special techniques, so he had to become inventive and create his own. He was somewhat of a taijutsu genius. Neji's Byakugan grants him near 360-degree vision, allowing him to see attacks and counter/dodge them with insane speed and precision. Some of his signature techniques that we see is the Gentle Fist, which is a taijutsu style that targets the opponent's chakra network, causing internal damage with precise strikes. There's also a Trigram 64 Palms, which is a rapid series of strikes targeting the opponent's chakra points. Then Rotation, a defensive maneuver that creates a rotating chakra barrier to deflect attacks. Some canon examples of all of these techniques is his fight against Hinata, against Kidomaru. Unfortunately, he is killed by a stick, so we don't have many more examples. In 6th place, don't bite my head off please, Hinata Hyuga, the Byakugan princess. She's also a master of the Gentle Fist and is recognized for her refined taijutsu skills. As the eldest child of the Hyuga head Hiyashi, Hinata's training in the Gentle Fist has been substantial, pushing her skills to the next level. Her Byakugan grants her enhanced perception and reflexes, allowing her to perform precise and effective taijutsu attacks and evasive maneuvers. Unlike Neji, she was not a prodigy, but she has since overtaken him, partly because he died, and become a very skilled taijutsu user. Her signature techniques, just like Neji, include Gentle Fist and a Trigram 64 Palms. But she also did create one of her own moves, Twin Lions. She enhances her strikes with chakra in the shape of lions, increasing the damage inflicted upon her opponent. Some canon examples of her fights are, like I mentioned earlier, against Neji and against Pain, which is a terrible example because she doesn't really fight, but it's badass. In 5th place, Rock Lee. Rock Lee's known for some of the most memorable taijutsu battles and moments in the series, especially in OG Naruto, because he got nerfed in Shippuden. Disgusting. Lee's intense training under Might Guy and his strict adherence to taijutsu due to his lack of ninjutsu and genjutsu skills have honed his hand-to-hand combat abilities to an exceptional level. He's renowned for his incredible speed, particularly when opening the inner gates, which allows him to perform rapid and powerful taijutsu techniques. His endurance and pain tolerance is also really good, as he's always pushing his body to its limits through rigorous training, which results in pain and strain not really being a factor that weakens his taijutsu ability, at least for a while, that is. Some of his signature techniques are Primary Lotus, which is a high-speed taijutsu technique involving a series of powerful strikes followed by a pile driver. Then there's Hidden Lotus, which is basically just an advanced version of Primary Lotus, and what makes it advanced is he opens multiple inner gates when doing it. And then there's Leaf Hurricane, which is just a super fast and powerful spinning kick. Some examples of his fights and displays of his taijutsu is against Gaara. Everyone knows that fight, against Kimimaru. And now that I think about it, Drunk Lee should really be at the top of this list. And then the last example is against himself, but we pretend that fight does not exist. In 4th place, a controversial one, Might Guy. Might Guy is renowned as the greatest user of the strong fist style, showcasing unparalleled dedication to taijutsu. Guy's rigorous training regimen and lifelong dedication to taijutsu have pushed his skills to the highest level. His speed, especially when opening the inner gates, allows him to perform blindingly fast and devastatingly powerful taijutsu techniques. His endurance is at a legendary level. He's capable of sustaining extreme physical strain and continuing to fight with relentless determination. Kind of like I mentioned earlier with Lee, but on a whole nother level. His signature techniques, like I said earlier, Strong Fist, which is a taijutsu style focused on powerful bone-shattering strike. And then there's Morning Peacock, which is a rapid series of punches delivered at such speed that they ignite the air around them. Kind of sick. And then lastly, Daytime Tiger, a single concentrated punch that creates a massive shockwave capable of obliterating opponents. Guy's pretty badass, and some examples of this badassery is multiple times against Kisame, one of my favorite feuds, and then against Madara. In 3rd place, Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke, I feel, is somewhat underrated in terms of taijutsu. Don't get me wrong, everyone would put him on this list, but all of his other hacks and abilities get so much more attention than his taijutsu does. Sasuke's training during his time with Orochimaru, and before that with Kakashi, and even before that with his dad and Itachi, made him an extremely gifted combatant at a young age. Pair this with his Sharingan, which enhances his reflexes and perception, and we have a very easy top 3 candidate on our hands. Some of his signature techniques include Lion Combo or Lion Barrage, which is a series of rapid and powerful taijutsu strikes that he copied from Lee and then put his own spin on. Then Chidori's Stream. While primarily a ninjutsu technique, it's often combined with taijutsu to enhance his hand-to-hand combat effectiveness. So I'm counting it. Some examples, his fights against Naruto, twice. His fight against Danzo, his fight against Itachi, his fight against Madara, and that's just to name a few. In 2nd place, Momoshiki Otsutsuki. I think I'm cheating by including a Boruto character, but I needed to because of that fight. Momoshiki is renowned as one of the strongest users of the Gentle Fist and showcases insane taijutsu skills, demonstrating his mastery in hand-to-hand combat. His extensive combat experience and training as an Otsutsuki have sharpened his taijutsu abilities to a level that allows him to hold his own against formidable opponents, such as Naruto and Sasuke, as I just teased. Momoshiki can evade attacks effortlessly while delivering precise and deadly strikes because of his lightning fast movements, agility, and reflexes. And then an example, as I mentioned earlier, of his insane taijutsu abilities is that fight with Naruto and Sasuke, I don't even need to say any more than that. Honorable mentions before we get on to number 1. This one's going to be a bit weird because it feels like all these fighters, bar Momoshiki, and the people that barely missed out on this list are all from the Hidden Leaf. So I'll use the honorable mentions to shout out some other villages. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th Raikage are all insane at Taijutsu. They use more wrestling-inspired techniques and it's actually really cool and different. So honorable mention for the 3 of them. And then obviously there's Shiro from the Hidden Sand. I don't know if he's a canon character or not, but I don't care. He was so cool and his technique was sick. Now on to first place, Naruto Uzumaki. Who else but the MC, huh? Naruto is renowned for his versatility in Taijutsu, using a diverse array of styles such as boxing, Wing Chun, Shinobi Kumite, and Frog Kata. His combat experience and training under mentors like Kakashi and Jiraiya allowed him to refine his Taijutsu abilities to a level that rivals, and in my opinion, overtakes some of the most skilled fighters in the series. With impressive speed and reflexes, probably the fastest character in the show, Naruto can react swiftly to his opponent's movement, dodging attacks and launching counterattacks with deadly precision. Some of his signature techniques, and I promise this is not going to be boring like the others with Gentle Fist. Boxing, in which he uses powerful punches and footwork to overwhelm his opponents. Wing Chun, which emphasizes close range combat and uses rapid strikes to exploit openings in his opponent's defenses. And then Shinobi Kumite, which everyone pretty much uses in the show, but we'll speak about it. It allows him to seamlessly blend Taijutsu and Ninjutsu, thus creating unpredictable and effective combat strategies. The way he uses this most of the time is with shadow clones, and he uses it very effectively. And then lastly, Frog Kata. This uses agile and acrobatic movements inspired by frogs to outmaneuver opponents and deliver devastating strikes. I don't know how often I've said devastating strikes today, but I want to kill myself. Some examples of his Taijutsu are his battle with Pain, multiple battles during the war, against Sasuke, and of course against Momoshiki. And that's some of just his biggest battles. There's also a shit ton in OG Naruto, like against Haku, Kiba, Neji. The list just goes on and on and on. Anyway, let me stop rambling and end this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like the video. Please do leave a comment. Who do you think are the top 3 Taijutsu users in the show? And of course, please do subscribe, and I shall see you next week.